Liv Tyler was the original paramedic captain in 911, Lone Star, but she left after just the first season. While cast exits can be due to creative choices within the show, that wasn't the case when it came to her character Michelle Blake's exit. 911 spin-off Lone Star was quite popular with viewers for 5 seasons, who appreciated seeing a different side of the 911 universe, with later seasons of 911, Lone Star being even stronger. It was a little different than the original series, with the spin-off focusing more on Rob Lowe's character Owen Strand, but the other characters made it great. One of those characters was Tyler's Michelle, who was a popular character in the first season of the show and well received by viewers. It's why it was such a surprise that she didn't return for 911, Lone Star Season 2, and was written out of the show. However, there's a clear reason for that, and it was one that couldn't really be avoided, sadly. Liv Tyler decided to leave 911, Lone Star because of the pandemic. Liv Tyler lives in the UK with her family. Liv Tyler looks on in 911, Lone Star. The first season of 911, Lone Star made Liv Tyler's Michelle Blake one of the main characters. She had a huge storyline centered around trying to find her sister, who viewers would later learn was previously married to Carlos Reyes. As soon as 911, Lone Star was renewed for a second season, everyone expected to see Liv Tyler return, and that was certainly the initial plan. Then came the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. Many will remember the uncertainty at the time, with the world coming to a halt. Not only did production on TV shows shut down, so did air travel, and that air travel remained stationary for some time after, even when shows were able to find a way to film again. Shortly after the announcement of Season 2 and the world shutting down, Deadline confirmed that Tyler would not return to the series due to logistical issues. She lived in the UK while the show was filmed in the United States. While there were ways around getting her into the country for work, it would mean being too long away from her family, and she wasn't willing to sacrifice her time with her children. How Tyler's Michelle Blake was written out of 911, Lone Star. Michelle's exit storyline connected to her Season 1 mission. With the exit announcement, 911, Lone Star made it clear that Michelle Blake wouldn't be recast. Instead, the character would be written out, and this would allow for Tyler to return in the future if possible. The show stuck to that promise by introducing a new paramedic captain, Tommy Vega, played by Gina Torres. The series created a storyline for Michelle leaving not just the 126 but also Austin, Texas, where the series is set. A quick explanation that she had decided to leave her job and home to help homeless people with drug addiction was written in. She was last confirmed to be in Ecuador, and this type of exit made it possible to bring Michelle back. However, that has not yet happened, with her only being mentioned to this point. Opting for this exit connected Michelle's exit to her Season 1 storyline. She had spent the entire season searching for her sister, who had been presumed dead for years. Michelle wanted answers, and she eventually found out that her sister was living in a homeless encampment. Her mental health condition and her addiction to drugs led to her breaking from her family, unable to find her way back or get word about where she was. Michelle realized there were more people like her sister, and with her sister back home, she wanted to do something to help others. Can Blake still return in the 911 universe? 911, Lone Star has ended but the universe continues. Liv Tyler as Michelle Blake in 911, Lone Star. While the 911, Lone Star final season would have been a great time to bring Michelle back, there wasn't the time or ability to manage it. That being said, with the way Michelle was written out and the fact that the 911 universe continues to grow, there is still a chance that she could return. It would depend on Tyler's wish to return to a show, as well as the writers of other shows within the universe wanting to create a plausible storyline for an appearance. The flagship series 911 continues to air on ABC, and there are high hopes that it will be renewed for a 9th season. ABC has also picked up the 911 spin-off 911, Nashville, further opening the opportunity to bring Michelle back into the story. For example, 911 previously brought Connie Britton back into 911 Season 3 after her exit after just 1 season, bringing closure for her character and for Buck's storyline. That said, Michelle's return isn't necessarily needed, as her exit storyline brought enough closure to her story. As there were no open-ended storylines for Michelle, it doesn't make sense to bring her back just for the sake of things. She wasn't romantically connected to other characters, and while she had a sister, viewers didn't get a lot of time with the sisters together on the screen. Bringing Michelle back would be fun, but it wouldn't serve the character or the TV show in any way, which makes it unlikely that she'll ever return to the 911 universe even now that 911, Lone Star is done. At least the door is open with 2 shows within the universe.